Ozark Highlands Radio is brought to you by the Ozark Folk Center State Park in Mountain View, Arkansas, a wonderful way to enjoy yesterday. On the web at ozarkfolkcenter.com.
Hey folks, this is Dave Smith, host of Ozark Highlands Radio. Welcome to our show. This week we'll hear music from the 2014 National Dulcimer Champion, Duane Porterfield. Not only is Duane a fine dulcimer player, but he also plays the bagpipes, and how often do you get to hear the bagpipes on the radio? We'll also hear from guest host Aubrey Atwater about her memories of the great Jean Ritchie. And we'll hear Jean Ritchie sing a beautiful song, Pretty Sarah. And in our Vault segment, Mark Jones will play a recording of his mother, the late Ramona Jones. All that and more this week on Ozark Highlands Radio. Duane Porterfield is a retired police officer from Kansas City, Kansas, but his family roots go back to Izard County, Arkansas, rugged Ozark land bordered by the White River here in north-central Arkansas. He was attracted to Mountain View by the small-town atmosphere and by the musical tradition that is so strong in our community. The mountain dulcimer is very popular in this area, and Duane sure knows his way around the dulcimer fingerboard. Let's start off our show this week with some tunes played by Duane on stage at the Ozark Folk Center State Park.
Well, I used to have an old banjo strung up all in twine. The only song I played on it, I wish that girl were mine. Well, I wish that girl were mine, boys, wish that girl were mine. Every song I played on it, I wish that girl were mine. Whoa, mule, kicking mule, whoa, mule, I say, hey, I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule has run away. Well, I took my girl to the barnyard, I set her down for supper. She got choked on a turkey leg and stuck her nose in butter. Well, stuck her nose in butter, boys, stuck her nose in butter. She got choked on a turkey leg and stuck her nose in butter. Whoa, mule, kicking mule, whoa, mule, I say, I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule has run away. Well, your face is like a coffee pot, your nose is like a spout, your mouth is like a fireplace with all the ashes out, with all the ashes out, boys, all the ashes out. Your mouth is like a fireplace with all the ashes out. Whoa, mule, kicking mule, whoa, mule, I say, I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule has gone away. Whoa, mule, kicking mule, whoa, mule, I say, I ain't got time to kiss you now, my mule has run away.
Well, when I was a kid, my parents, they were from Izard County, which is right next door, and so we spent a lot of time down in this part of Arkansas, and then we came down to Mountain View occasionally, and when we did, I just fell in love with it, you know, and like a lot of people do. So I knew that before I die and when I get old, I'm going to own a piece of Arkansas so that's what I did when we retired.
Sweetheart, I beg you to come home tonight. I'm so blue and all alone. I promise that I'll treat you right. Love, oh love, please come home. When you read this letter that I write to you, sweetheart, I hope you'll understand that you're the only one I need. Please forgive me if you can. Sweetheart, I beg you to come home tonight. I'm so blue and all alone. I promise that I'll treat you right. Love, oh love, please come home. cold and slowly creeping around, and my fire is burning low. The snow has covered up the ground. Our baby's hungry, sick and cold. Sweetheart, I beg you to come home tonight. I'm so blue and all alone. I promise that I'll treat you right. Love, oh love, please come home. Love, oh love, please come home. Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember my great-grandfather playing a mountain dulcimer that he had traded a turkey for. There's a good story behind that one. And I remember seeing him play that, and then my grandfather had a harmonica, and I was, I don't even know how old I was. I don't believe I was in my teens yet. I picked that up and just started picking out tunes on it, and, my parents, their jaw just kind of dropped open, and then, it just kind of went from there. But as far as mom and dad playing stuff, no, they never did.
I'm headed for the lowlands. Please direct my way. The train is leaving shortly. There's no time to delay. She said she'd be waiting. I'm not so sure she is. They claim that there's another man who says that she is his. Lowlands were my home when I was but a child. They will be my deathbed when I pass my time. I remember one summer day, clouds began to build. We gathered the cattle scattered across the field. It started to rain and continued several days. The river overflowed and the crops all went to waste. Lowlands were my home when I was but a child. They will be my deathbed when I pass my time. You know that I'm no failure, though my victories are few. I'm trying my best, but there's so much here to do. The girl I love once told me I made her feel secure. It's hard to think I'm in a place where nothing does endure. Lowlands were my home when I was but a child. They will be my deathbed when I pass my time.
Well, I play some just a little bit. Just in, I go to schools and different things that I can do like show and tell with. So I play several different instruments a little bit, enough to demonstrate them for a school audience. Mainly, I play. Started with the guitar in the 5th grade, and then mountain dulcimer, and that's my favorite. And clawhammer banjo, and then the Highland bagpipes, and then, like I said, several different folk instruments that I play enough to demonstrate the mouth bow, the Native American flute, harmonica a bit, and several things that I just hadn't got out very often. So usually if it has strings, I can pick out enough to get by on, with a few songs.
When the sun goes down in Dublin town, colors last for hours old. Lights come on, the night's a song, the streets turn to gold. Gentle mist, all heaven kissed, like teardrops off an angel's wing. Don't you know you cleanse your soul with a walk in the Irish rain? Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I've got 3 pounds and change. I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. Forevermore I stepped ashore, my sailing days are over. Oh, the time and tide by your side, together we'll grow old. Threw my sea bag in the bin, brought these pretty flowers home. Kiss me, Kate, we'll celebrate before the blooms are gone. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I got 3 pounds and change. I'll sing you songs of love again when I get too drunk to sing. We'll walk in the Irish rain. A tinker and a tailor and a drunken old sailor, they all get together and they start to play. Time stands still while they drink their fill, shout to the break of day. Pretty little lady with a glass of stout, sipping it down till the foam runs out. She'll lay up her old man home again with a walk in the Irish rain. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, I've got 3 pounds and change. I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain.
I like traditional folk, and I like old time, Civil War, pre-Civil War, O'Carolan tunes, Celtic, and Irish stuff, which lends itself well to the mountain dulcimer, especially. It's like it's made for it. And then, some of the hymns, some of my favorite tunes were the old Heavenly Highways hymns.
The first song in this little medley is called Minstrel Boy. Next song will be Loch Lomond, named after the largest lake in Scotland. The next tune in that medley will be a jig, and I have no idea what it's called or anything, so sorry about that. But and then the final tune will be the Skyboat song. Thank you.
That was 2014 National Dulcimer Champion Duane Porterfield playing Whoa Mule, Sweetheart, The Lowlands, Walk in the Irish Rain, and an instrumental medley of Minstrel Boy, Loch Lomond, The Irish Jig, and the Skyboat Song. Duane was accompanied in that set by his brother Dennis Porterfield. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll head down to the vault to hear a song that is very special to our sound engineer, Mark Jones. You're listening to Ozark Highlands Radio. Let's take a trip downstairs to the vault and visit my buddy Mark Jones, see what kind of music he's found for us this week. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Dave, I'm doing good. How's things going out on your place?
Well, things are doing pretty good. We got a little hay up this week and getting ready for winter, you know.
All right, did you get your cabin done? I know you's a working on it.
I'm getting ready to start putting the roof on it here this week.
Oh, well, I'm going to come out. I want to come out and see it.
Well, you do that. Come out while we're roofing. We could use a hand on the ladder there, I believe.
I bet. Well, you sure got a pretty place out there.
Well, thank you, Mark. Hey, what do you got picked out from the vaults this week? What songs you got for us?
Well, you know, Dave, this week it's kind of special to me. I remember when we all started first coming down here. I was out on the road traveling with my dad, but Mom would sneak off, and she and my sister would come down here to Mountain View, and they would play, and they'd spend time around here and got to know so many people.
I think we should point out here that your Mom and Dad are Grandpa Jones and Ramona Jones.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people have heard of them.
They sure have. And actually, this was the year that Dad was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. So Mom had come down all through the summer. And, of course, we record every show that's done here at the Ozark Folk Center. And this is a cut that they were here that one night, and they sung a real fine old gospel song called Just as the Evening Sun.
And this is with your sister.
Mom and my sister, Elisa.
Great. Let's listen.
Just as the evening sun was sinking in the golden west, hanging between two thieves, they crucified the Son of God. Mocked by the multitude, they placed on him a thorny crown. A love like this was never known, Jesus dying for his own, just as the sun went down. A love like this cannot be found, though you may search the whole world round. Jesus dying for his own, just as the sun went down, just as the evening sun was sinking in the golden west, hanging between two thieves, they crucified the Son of God. Mocked by the multitude, they placed on him a thorny crown. A love like this was never known, Jesus dying for his own, just as the sun went down, just as the sun went down.
Ooh, boy, that's a pretty song, Mark. I can tell they'd sung together a lot, hadn't they?
They had. They really have, and in fact, they're still doing it.
They are. Just recently, they were here for our annual Grandpa Jones tribute. Your mom's how old now?
She is 92.
92, still playing great tunes on the fiddle and still singing with your sister.
That's right. And she'll do it just as long as she can, she said.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark. Good to see you this week.
Good to see you, Dave. Welcome anytime.
Not only is this week's musical guest a fine mountain dulcimer player, but he's adept at many instruments, including guitar, clawhammer banjo, Native American flute, didgeridoo, and the bagpipes. We'll explore some of this instrumental diversity in our next set. Here are 5 more tunes by Duane Porterfield.
Oh Polly, it's for your sake alone. I left my dear father, my country, and my home. I left my dear mother to weep and to mourn. I am a rebel soldier, far from my home. It's grape shot and musket, cannons lumber loud. Many a mangled body, a blanket for a shroud. There's many mangled body left on the fields alone. I am a rebel soldier, far from my home. I'll eat when I'm hungry, I'll drink when I'm dry. If the Yankees don't kill me, I'll live until I die. If the Yankees don't kill me and cause me to mourn, I am a rebel soldier, far from my home. Thank you. Well, I worked with the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department for 32 years. And one year, and I don't recall the year, 98 or 99, we had an officer that was killed in the line of duty. And the funeral service that they had, they hired a bagpiper. And it was just rather impersonal. You know, he came in, played his Amazing Grace. He collected his check and he left. And there was a certain captain that worked for our academy at the time and was in charge of the honor guard. And he said, I believe we can do better than that. So he started recruiting, and he knew that I played other instruments. And so there was 15 of us that then signed up to take lessons. So we took lessons for a year. Started out with 15. We ended up with the 2 of us, my partner on the police department and I.
we were in the SWAT unit at the time, and we had our little practice chanters that are, pretty quiet, and you learn all the finger movements on that. And so we would volunteer for all the surveillances, and we would sit and do the surveillance, but at the same time we're, practicing on our chanters. And I don't know if our captain ever knew that or not, but it ended up with the two of us that in 2000 we played our first memorial service, and then countless funerals and memorials since then all over the state of Kansas and Missouri. So it's nice when I do occasionally bring them out down here at the Folk Center. That it's a happy occasion, I can play bagpipes in my overalls, and people are good with that.
This next song is actually about, it's about death too. So, a lot of those old songs were like that. Now this, back, about 150 years ago, there was a man that was on the gallows, and he's getting ready to be executed. And his mother was in the crowd of the witnesses, and she's getting ready to watch her son be put to death, and she wrote down his last words. And these last words were later put into a song. It goes like this. Hangman, hangman, slack your rope. Hangman, hangman, slack your rope. Slack your rope so... It's a short little song. What? His last words. See, he was on the gallows. Never mind. What? We stole that from the Smothers Brothers a long time ago. He was stranded in a tiny town in fair Prince Edward Island, waiting for a ship to come and find him. A one-horse place, a friendly face, some coffee and a tiny trace of fiddling in the darkness far behind him. A dime across the counter then, a shy hello, a brand new friend, a walk along the streets in wintry weather, a yellow light, an open door, a welcome friend, there's room for more. And then they're standing there inside together. He said, I've heard that tune somewhere before, but I can't remember when. Was it on some other friendly shore? Did I hear it on the wind? Was it written on the sky above? I think I heard it from someone I love, but I never heard it sound so fine since then. Well, now his feet begin to tap. The little girl says, I'll take your hat. He's caught up in the magic of her smile. Leap the heart inside and went, and up across the floor he sent his clumsy body graceful as a child. He said, there's magic in that fiddler's arm, there's magic in this town, there's magic in the dancer's feet and the way they put 'em down. Smiling everywhere, hoots and ribbons, locks of hair, laughter, old blue suits and Easter gowns. Well, the sailor's gone, the room is bare, the old piano's sitting there, someone's hat's left hanging on the rack. The empty chair, the wooden floor that feels the tap of shoes no more, waiting for the dancers to come back. And the fiddle's in the closet of some daughter of the town. Strings are broke, the bow is gone, the cover's buttoned down. Sometimes on December nights, when the air is cold and the wind is right, there's a melody that dances through this town. Thank you.
That was Ozark Folk Center musician Duane Porterfield playing Rebel Soldier, Amazing Grace, and Hangman, which was inspired by a Smothers Brothers routine. The Ballad of the St. Anne's Reel, and a couple of Civil War tunes, When Johnny Comes Marching Home and the Battle Hymn of the Republic. After the break, we'll visit with our friend Aubrey Atwater about the woman who brought the mountain dulcimer to the folk revival, Jean Ritchie. This is Ozark Highlands Radio.
Jean Ritchie was often referred to as the mother of folk music. She was born in 1922, and she was the youngest of 14 in a family they called the Singing Family of the Cumberlands. And she was one of those individuals in a folk singing family that had an absolute passion for learning the songs of her ancestors. And in this case, the ancestors there in eastern Kentucky were very much like they are here in the Ozark Mountains. Jean was born in Viper, Kentucky, in Perry County, Kentucky. And in her lifetime, she gathered from relatives about 300 songs and games, ballads, dances, little ditties from her relatives and other sources in her community. A beautiful example of a Ritchie family song. It's an old song from Scots-Irish roots, from North Ireland, most likely, or Scotland, and it's called Pretty Sorrow. And it's a typical theme in traditional folk music where the young man who's in love with the young woman is too low in social status. He's too poor, he's too uneducated, he's from a different family background to be an appropriate husband for the woman he loves. And so he can't be with her, he can't marry her. And in this case, the theory is that he was an indentured servant, which made it even worse. And so he pines and pines and pines all of his life, all for the love of Pretty Sorrow.
Down in some lone valley, in a lonesome place, where the wild birds do whistle and their notes do increase. Farewell, pretty Sorrow, I bid you adieu, and I'll dream of pretty Sorrow wherever I go. My love, she won't have me, so I understand. She wants a freeholder who owns house and land. I cannot maintain her with silver and gold, nor buy all the fine things that a big house can hold. If I were a merchant and could write a fine hand, I would write my love a letter that she'd understand. I'd write it by the river where the waters o'erflow, and I'll dream of pretty Sorrow wherever I go.
So that was Pretty Sarah by Jean Ritchie, and that is a traditional song from the Ritchie family. You could hear her playing the mountain dulcimer. Jean had a master's degree in social work, and she went to work in the late 40s at the Henry Street Settlement School in New York City. And that was when she brought a Jethro Ambergy dulcimer, a dulcimer that was made in Hindman, Kentucky. She brought a dulcimer to New York City. She went to New York right at the right time. That was during that burgeoning folk revival. And people started to learn more and more about the dulcimer because of her. And Jean is single-handedly credited with introducing the dulcimer to the wider folk world. So Pretty Sarah, the song you just heard, is a beautiful example of that simple old style of playing the dulcimer with a stick that you call the noter and an open tuning, and you just gently strum.
And I'll dream of Pretty Sarah wherever I go. And I'll dream of Pretty Sarah wherever I go.
Thanks, Aubrey. What an ancient-sounding song, Pretty Sarah. Let's finish the show today with an eclectic group of songs by dulcimer champion Duane Porterfield, starting with the Ook Pick Waltz.
The thing about the pick is, and the competitions, the thing about dulcimer people, there's a tent that you sit in, and the competitors are the only ones allowed in there. Most of the time you'll see people sitting in these tents getting ready for these competitions, and they're off by themselves, and they're doing last-minute tweaking of their pieces and this and that. But with dulcimer people, they're visiting with each other, and they're sitting around jamming with each other, and we're not really going to worry about, and it's just a different atmosphere there. And I just love it, You have that stress and the nervousness, but then again, it's such a joy to see these people year after year. And the thing about that pick was that every year when we'd sit down there, sit in the tent, I would pass it around. So just play one tune with this. So, that pick has been played by more national champions and otherwise than anything I have, and it would kill me to lose it. So I remember the words.
I remember the day we had nothing to do. We went down to the city zoo just to spend an hour or two in the good sunshine. We had so much fun, we were glad that we came. Talked to all the animals and gave each a name. Didn't even mind when it started to rain. Had a real good time. Now that it's over and you're far away, I miss you more with each passing day. All of my friends sympathize eyes and say, you'll forget in time. It's already been well over a year. Just in case you're interested, you might like to hear how everybody's doing down at the city zoo without you. The monkey forgot you and the zebra forgot you, even the kangaroo. Me and the elephant still remember you. Me and the elephant will never forget you. Now doesn't that just make you all warm and fuzzy? Make you want to get your cigarette lighters out and wave them up in the air and stuff like that. Look over at your neighbor and go, feel free to do all that. Well, I wrote to Landers and Dear Abby too, asked their advice as to what I should do. They said everything that reminds me of you all has to go. Burned all your pictures except 2 or 3, one by my bed and one on my TV, one that I always carry with me everywhere I go. And today was so nice, and since I was in town, I thought I'd take this opportunity to go down and see how everyone is down at the city zoo. And what's new? The hippo forgot you and the rhino forgot you, polar bear and tiger too. But me and the elephant still remember you. Me and the elephant will never forget you. My grandfather in Melbourne, Arkansas, was a landmark missionary Baptist preacher. And every time my family would come down there, and if we happened to be holding a meeting or whatever, and we did attend services at his church, he would get my brother and I up to lead a song, and we'd always sing Just a Little Talk with Jesus, you know. So now in my later life, that's always been, you know, fond memory as far as that, and I've applied that. Matter of fact, one of my tunes that I played in the competition was that one, the year I won, so kind of has special meaning there. I once was lost in sin, but Jesus took me in. And then a little light from heaven filled my soul. It placed my heart in love and wrote my name above. And just a little talk with Jesus made me whole. Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our struggle. He will hear our faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. When you feel a little prayerful yearning, as your heart into heaven is turning, you will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right. watches day and night. I go to him in prayer. He knows my every care. And just a little talk with Jesus makes it right. Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our struggles. He will hear our faintest cry, and he will answer by and by. Now when you feel a little prayer for yearning, as your heart into heaven is turning, you will find a little talk with Jesus makes it right.
A folk song is a song that has been passed down vocally, as opposed to something that's been written down note for note. So we get songs that, the tune may change, the words may change, the verses you may hear it in this song and you may hear it in another song. And there's something about that that's just, you can't explain it. There's no words. There's no other music like that. It's back porch music, When I play, what comes to mind is my ancestors coming in and out of the fields, and that was what they did in the evening times. And when they didn't have work, they would meet together, they would play, and nobody really has a piece of sheet music laying out there telling them what notes to play. You just do it. If there's a missing note, if somebody's slightly out of key, that's the beauty of it, That's the character of that type of music. That's what it is to me, and that's why I'm glad to be a part of it.
That was Duane Porterfield playing the Ookpik Waltz, Me and the Elephant, Have a Little Talk with Jesus, and an old-time fiddle tune, Julianne Johnson. For a playlist of today's show, plus links to past shows, visit us on the web at ozarkhighlandsradio.com. For all of us here at Ozark Highlands Radio, I'm Dave Smith. Have a great week, everybody.
Ozark Highlands Radio is produced by Jeff Glover. Executive producer is Darren Dorton. Additional support for this program comes from the Committee of 100, proudly supporting the Ozark Folk Center State Park since 1974, and by Arkansas State Parks, with 52 unique reasons to visit the natural state. More information online at arkansasstateparks.com. For information on upcoming shows and events, we are on the web at ozarkhighlandsradio.com. Until next time, I'm Donna Farrar.